Ohio State to playing at USC, the second half of this kind of difficult road double. Can you talk about the mood of your team and just what opportunity there is to build on what you've done and to fix the things that kind of tripped you up?
Yeah, I think the mood is good. You know, we could take a lot of things out of that game. We did a lot of things well. The messages, the things that we can improve on, we need to make sure that we learn from the lessons and you know, improve on those. And so, you know, SC poses another challenge, a little different challenge, still a hostile environment. But you know, there was a lot of good things that we did as a team in that game. So I was fired up about the improvement. Obviously disappointed that we didn't get the win, but thought our team showed a lot of heart and determination, perseverance, and you know, just came up a little bit short, but there's a lot of positives to take from it.
And what kind of USC team do you think you'll face this week with them coming off the loss?
Well, we'll face the same USC team we always face. You know, they're always motivated. They're always very competitive. You know, they'll be flying around, you know, like they do. They're athletic and physical and every position really. And so, you know, I'm sure, you know, coming off a loss, they'll you know, as any time you have a resolve to work hard in practice and come back with more determination. So, you know, I have no doubt in my mind we're going to get their best effort.
The matchup of your starting corners against USC's two receivers, how important do you think that could be in the context of the game as far as who wins?
Well, you have to minimize or try to eliminate the big play with those guys. They're as gifted as any receivers around, without a doubt. They're physical, they're fast, quick, elusive. You know, so they can catch a short one and make you miss and turn into a big play. You get up and try to get in their face, they can run by you. And, you know, obviously it's not just the receivers, but Barkley's a quality quarterback, and they've been together, and so they have great chemistry. But there's no question that as far as a tandem of receivers, I don't think you could be playing against a more challenging couple guys than we're playing this week.
Without disparaging the talent of the Stanford defense, were you a little surprised at how successful they were pressuring Barkley and what they were able to do on defense?
Well, Stanford has a very good defense. There's no doubt. You know, playing them last year, they have very good schemes. They're very physical, and you know, and that was the key to that game, really, in my opinion, was the ability to put pressure on Barkley and make him pull the ball down quite a bit. And because of Stanford's play on defense, really allowed Stanford to continue with their game plan on offense. You know, be patient with the run game, and, you know, kept the game really close, and then, you know, scored in the fourth quarter to win the game. And but I think it had to do, the win really came because Stanford's defense played so well.
Yeah, Jeff, was that blueprint that they showed you really going after the quarterback hard and going up the middle at him? It looked like, is that a blueprint others, including yourselves, can try to emulate?
Yeah, you know, I think anytime you watch tape, you know, you try to look at where the matchups are, you try to look at where you can stress protections, you know, different things like that. You have to understand that they will go back and work on fixing those things as well. But, you know, stressing the protections is key, because you can't give Barkley a lot of time to throw the ball, because those receivers will get open at some point.
Do you feel like you have the personnel to try to do that?
Yeah. You know, it's different. We do different things. Obviously, we don't do the same exact thing that Stanford does, but it's key to make sure that we we play well up front on the defensive line and at linebackers.
Toward that point, would this be a game where you might try to change up your look to something USC hadn't seen before in terms of trying to put pressure on Barkley?
Every week we do, we do that. There's different looks, different wrinkles that go in, so there will be some this week as well.
How good is SC's defense, and what sort of things are they doing? What's the strength of it?
Well, they're physical up front. They're very fast and athletic at linebacker, and their secondary is very athletic, very good safety with McDonald. There's really no difference in who USC is on defense. I thought Stanford's running back made a huge run, a great play to make a couple people miss for the long touchdown. But it was hard to come by a lot of yards. They threw a couple screens that were big plays on them, but they also put a lot of pressure on Stanford's quarterback, and they're very sound defensively. They have a lot of looks, and and you get one-on-one matchups and protection. They're very good players, and so they really haven't changed. They're the same caliber of players that they've always had.
Do you have an update on Spencer Hagan?
We don't. He hasn't had his MRI yet. Typically, when something like that happens, you let the swelling go down first, and then you MRI it. But he won't be playing this week.
You're really sort of getting thin at tight end. Is this a week where you need Maximo and some other guys to at least step up and provide you some depth?
Yeah, Harrison Wolfley and Maximo will play, and it's not out of the question that Rogers may be back as well.
Getting back to what they do on offense, are they at least in terms of style, a more similar matchup than Southern Utah than say Nevada or Ohio State? It seemed like you were trying to make sure you kept contained on those quarterbacks because they can move around so well. Are you able to do a little bit less of that and maybe go after him more?
Well, they move the pocket quite a bit as well. They run a lot of play actions and get the quarterback on the edge, and so Barkley's no stiff by any means. He can move, so they'll move him around and they'll do some things and change the launch points and not just sit him in the pocket all the time. So he can move and buy some time and things like that. So it's gonna. You still have to. If you let a quarterback get outside, that puts more pressure on the secondary because then they're have to cover longer in the secondary. So you still have to keep contained on him.
How did your kicker Motto do today in practice? What you see out of him, and you still have confidence?
Yeah, he hit the ball well today. I mean, he hit it solid, and as he always does, he's got plenty of leg. He hit it solid. Practiced a lot from the left hash mark today, and he did fine.
He's still your guy?
Yes.
Coach, after having a chance to take a look at the film from the game, what can you say about how the officiating affected the outcome? Obviously, you're not going to say that it determined the whole outcome, but looking at critical plays like when a touchdown's pulled off the board on a questionable call and other things like that, how do you assess the performance?
Well, you're exactly right. I can't, really comment on officiating. It's part of the game. All I can say is, there were two plays in the game that I thought, the holding was, I guess the best way to say it is could have went either way. And when I looked at the replay, on CJ's catch on the sideline, I thought he had both feet in bounds. And I don't understand that. I was getting information from the box seeing the replay saying he's in. So we challenged it, and then they said no, and I thought that's what the replay was for. And so that was the first thing I looked at when I got home is, well, on the tape going, coming home on the plane, I looked at it, but then I thought, you get a better angle on TV, and I saw that, and I don't know how that happened. Why they didn't call him in bounds. Did you think he was in bounds? Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
You've often had two tailbacks that you've used. It's worked well for you. Now it seems that you might have three. Have you ever had that situation before? And is it a big advantage, or is it a little complicated, or how do you make that work?
Well, it can become complicated because with three guys, typically if we've had, 3 or 4 guys, they've been freshmen and you've redshirted them, but you have him, you're obviously talking about Bigelow and Lasko as well. Lasko's a good back as well. But it's just hard to get them all in the game. So, Coach Gould typically does a really good job of getting guys in when they need to be in, and Bigelow should be in on a few more plays this week, but those other guys are real solid as well. So Coach Gould just kind of goes by the feel and the plays.
There's been a lot about injury reporting policies, especially the last week or two, and Larry Scott, the commissioner, said on Saturday he'd look into a conference-wide policy. Where would you fall in terms of supporting or rather not having a league-mandated policy?
It's whatever. I'm sure when we get to meetings or when they go to AD meetings, they'll talk about it, and whatever they come up with, we'll follow.
Okay, probably time for about 2 or 3 more questions, guys. You said it could be complicated trying to get tailbacks playing time, but in the case of Bigelow, that's a good situation to be in as a coach, isn't it? To have a guy who's really a special talent and deserves or should be on the field more. Is that a challenge for you to design things that would take advantage of his abilities?
No, it's not a challenge to design things for him. It's I think I just reiterated a word that was asked about complicated, but it's just getting all 3 guys in the feel of the game and going, and it's you're not going to get 3 guys 20 carries. That just doesn't happen. So if they could get 6, 7, and one, if one guy gets rolling and he gets 15, then but I'm sure if Bigelow touches the ball 4 times, the first question after the game, I can see it coming. Why didn't Bigelow touch the ball more today? So I'll ask that for you now before the game ends. But there's no doubt Bigelow has done a nice job, and but those other guys have done a nice job as well. So it's again, Coach Gould really makes the substitutions with backs, and we did talk this week about getting Bigelow some more playing time.
On that last drive, now looking back, obviously hindsight, would you have liked to have had Bigelow in there for a few more carries on that last drive?
No, we were throwing the ball. We were throwing the football.
Jeff, Summers Gavin, what do we know about his status, and what's the timetable for Dominic Gallis? Do you expect him back?
Yeah, we do. Actually, I saw Dominic today punching a bag and pass setting, and so he's making progress. He's been working his tail off as far as conditioning and things like that. It's just a matter of making sure that the whole deal is if you get it overextended or anything. But I saw him today punching bags, and he looked like he had some force and some strike to him. And Summers Gavin's coming along nicely. He practiced some today, so I think those guys are on the mend.
Do you think he'll have him out this week?
Don't know. Just depends how he, from day to day. Those type of things, you know, if you don't do too much with him, and you know, we have to see how he feels tomorrow after some work today, and so it's a day-to-day thing. And then, you know, at some point this season we'll probably get Brzezinski back too, because those are the three guys that were Summers, Gavin, Gallus, and Brzezinski are guys that you know, have been out.
Dallas is a few weeks off still.
Yeah, I think so.
And is Kyrie Fort gonna play this week, or?
No, not as of right now.
Okay, guys, we have time for just a final question, okay?
That was my question before.
Well, then I'll ask it.
Okay, you get the last one.
Your line blocked well for the run. You had 6 sacks against you. How concerned are you about that? What do they have to do better? How do you rate the offensive line performance of this one?
Well, we got beaten a couple different places. It wasn't one guy taking, you know, we kind of took turns. We knew it would be a challenge going in. They have, you know, they had a big physical defensive tackle, number 92. And then we knew that 54 was a very good defensive end, very fast and plays hard. And, you know, and so they got to us we just got beaten one-on-one protection sometimes. And, you know, so we have to improve there.
Are you generally, is it a mixed bag how they're doing so far?
Yeah, I think they play well. Not perfect, but I think they're improving each week.
Okay, guys, great. Thank you very much.
All right.
Players are short.
Thank you.